go, man. This is another video where we're going to be cramming 4 different recipes in just one video. Usually it's hard enough to do one recipe in one video. We're doing 4. These are all pretty quick and fairly easy, and all fall under the same category of making sweet, refreshing, cold drinks, especially if you're in the Philippines because summer is about to start. So we're going to be making a Halohalo, I can't say it right, minatamis na saging, using some beautiful Saba bananas. And then we are also going to be making a version of a nice scramble. And then the last and final piece would be something I loved when I was a kid, and that is Buko ice candy. But we're going to make it a little bit different, just to be able to fit everything, and also just to have something different, right? Because we're all used to eating it. It's nice to have a nice refreshing take on things. So we're going to start very quickly with the minatamis na saging. Oh, I'm going to struggle through this so bad. Minatamis na saging, white lady. Okay. It's really simple. I have some coconut water here. Usually you'd be using regular water. I've actually done this a couple times and I just like the additional flavor that it brings. Brown sugar. I'm going to put this on a very low heat to help dissolve everything. But before doing that, this is twist number 1. Grab some beautiful pandan just to give it some extra flavor. Put the pandan inside, and then we're just going to bring that to a nice simmer. While waiting for that to happen, we're going to go ahead and just peel our Saba bananas. You can use Cordova, you can use plantains, a little bit different obviously in terms of varieties. There's actually a lot of varieties of bananas. We're lucky enough in the Philippines to have these, so this is the ones we're using. I've tried this before with Cavendish bananas, but the result wasn't as great. I have a little bit of action happening in the pan. We're going to go ahead and place the Saba inside. You'll see that these are not fully submerged, so what I'm going to do is cook them about 8 minutes per side and then flip them. Once you've achieved kind of like the texture you're looking for, which is exactly this. So if you see it, the colors have changed absolutely dramatically. They've gone from like a pale yellow to like a permeated, kind of like opaque, darker caramel yellow color. It's exactly what you're looking for. So this will be nice and tender. We're going to transfer this. You can remove the pandan at this point, but we're going to keep that beautiful syrup. Give it a try. If you've never made this with coconut water, you definitely should. At this point, this could be it. This could be the dish. But we're going to change it up a little bit and cool it down. So what we're going to do is grab the bananas, chop them up. Should be nice and tender inside. So nice large pieces. Toss all that back into the syrup. Take some beautiful langka, my favorite fruits that we have here in the Philippines. Toss all these together. So the langka, you don't need to cook down like you would the Saba because it already kind of has a perfect kind of soft, chewy texture, and it's already quite sweet. So you don't really need the sugar to like infuse itself in the fruit. So that's good already, nice and cool. Keep this to the side, and then we're gonna have to shave some ice. Take a glass, start off with your langka and your banana. Fill it up with some ice. Then time for the syrup. So there's a very different variation of something you're very familiar with. But trust me, it's really good and you should definitely try making this at home. It's not much of a big change, but it's worth it. We couldn't make an ice dessert feature without doing Halohalo. Halohalo, meaning mix, absolutely popular everywhere. I've eaten it in so many different ways, from extremely simple, which is leche flan and corn, to extremely decadent with cheddar cheese and ube ice cream and everyone has their kind of own variation of it, and it also really depends on what ingredients that you do have at home. So I'm gonna show you how to make something really simple with what I currently have here. I'm just gonna start with some corn. And with the corn already, that's when I'm gonna go ahead and mix in my condensed milk. Again, if anyone at this point is saying it's wrong, there is no right or wrong here. It's literally ice with a bunch of ingredients, guys. Mix this together. I just love the flavor of condensed milk with corn. That's literally all I'm doing, because all I have to do now is shake some ice. Same process, big mama jama. Use a cloth because I know it's really, really cold already. And then we're gonna need enough to fill all this, so it's gonna take a while. Okay, we have to move fast before it melts. To this, we're gonna add some leche flan. No, I did not make it, I bought it because I'm a smart person. Add a couple pieces of that. We're gonna add some ube halaya. Nice big spoonful. Then I have some fresh buko. And then final piece of the puzzle, some makapuno, or as they call it, coconut sport. It's apparently, makapuno is like a diseased coconut, I'm not kidding. It's like a genetic disorder of coconuts. And at this point, you can add pinipig, you can add a bunch of stuff that you want, some Rice Krispies, all up to you. But sometimes 4 or 5 ingredients, halohalo, is better than none. And obviously, finish it with, what's the theme song with this brand? Angel Condensada, isn't it N the nursery rhyme? Yeah. And then some evaporated milk. And now we just mix everything together. I'm gonna get a little bit of everything. These are the perks of the jobs, my friend. Perks of the job. Third recipe we'll be making today is ice scramble. Hugely popular on the street, kids love it. And it's just something that I don't really like. I know I might get hate for that, but it's just, I feel like a lot of them use banana extract and it just really doesn't make sense for me. So I thought, why not try to combine kind of like a banana shake with an ice scramble and see if that works out. And I think it's a better idea. So really simple. I got 1 fresh banana. Cut that up. To that, I'm gonna add some evaporated milk and then a little bit of condensed milk. I never said this was healthy. I just said, for me, it tastes better. Blend that together. Let's taste it. It's like heaven. Keep that to the side. So this is kind of gonna be our base. So usually, like I said, it'd be, I think it's ice most of the time. Ice, evaporated milk, some sugar, some banana extract, and then usually some red coloring, which I do have. I have a red gel over here that we're gonna use later. But now we need to make the ice. So don't make fun of me, I don't have an ice shaving machine. So this is what we'll be using. And you know, you're laughing. You're probably laughing. But a lot of people don't have ice shaving machines at home. So I was like, all right, let's figure out how to do this. So you probably have a bunch of these laying around. I always keep them from like food deliveries and stuff. Keep that to the side. This is gonna be the most annoying sound you've ever heard in your life. I'm just letting you right now. So all we wanna do is just kind of shave it.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
See, you're learning things and you're learning things. That's cool, man. Oh, it's like, you know, when your teacher's writing on the chalkboard, it's like, eh. Okay, now we combine everything together. So glass, banana, condensed, evaporated milk concoction, ice, should be nice and thin and shaven by now. Cool thing about this is that it's a gel and it's not really kind of like that red extract you'd find. So all we need is like a tiny little dot and that'll go really, really far. I didn't want to get it on my fingers because then it's going to look like I cut myself, but I didn't. So obviously it doesn't look like much now, but then when we mix it together, that's where the magic happens. fun version of an ice scramble. It's so much better. It's like yeah, it's basically like a banana shake that had sex with an ice scramble. Ice buko or buko ice candy is something that if you grew up in the Philippines, you probably ate a lot of. It's so delicious. It's kind of like a really simple way of making a nice creamy ice cream. There's one thing that I like to do is add cornstarch, and that just kind of gives you that more creamy texture. Because if you've eaten it quite a bit, you probably realize that sometimes you get it really icy, sometimes it's really creamy. The combination of the cornstarch and cooking the cornstarch with the coconut water actually gives you that creaminess that you're looking for. So I'm gonna go for 2 cups of fresh coconut water, 3.5 minus 2, that's 1.5. See, I'm good in math. It's 4 years of college right there. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Quickly dissolve everything. Transfer that to a nice hot pan. In a separate bowl, we're gonna start mixing the creams and the milks that we need. So very simple, I need 1 1/2 cup of milk. There's construction happening. So I'm just gonna shout. 1/2 cup of condensed milk. This is where you could actually add coconut cream if you wanted to. You can use evaporated milk instead of milk. It's really up to you. Mix that together, just to get everything ready. I'm also going to be placing some pandan inside the coconut and cornstarch mix, just because we have it, and buko pandan makes a lot of sense. So the condensed milk and milk mixture, about 1 cup of fresh coconut. This just makes the dish so good. The more the better. We're going to go ahead and strain the cornstarch and the coconut juice mixture. I'm going to use a big strainer because I want to make sure not to clog up some of the cornstarch that might be in there. And then all of this needs to cool down a bunch, but first, before we cool it down, we're going to take that opportunity to dissolve the sugar in there. So about 1/2 cup of sugar, white sugar. So I'm going to let that cool down before adding that to the milks. Now that the cornstarch buko juice has properly cooled down, we're going to go ahead and add it to the cream mix. Mix all that together. This is where you can actually taste it, and it should taste like ice candy, and it does. And I'm not going to use the plastic tubes because they're not great for the environment, and you throw them away right away. So we're just going to use these really cool kind of like rubber ice cube blocks. So you're going to get like big blocks of ice candy. It might be a bit harder to use, but I couldn't find a good alternative for the tubes. If you guys know of any alternatives, it would be great to let us know. But yeah, I want to stay away from anything that you're going to use once and then throw away, right? So at least this you can reuse multiple times. Ladle. Okay, and then this goes in the freezer until they're completely frozen. Should take a couple hours. Okay, so we had to wait a whole day because we wanted this to set properly, and now it's set. Obviously, it's a bit awkward to eat with your hands because it's in an ice cube form. But flavor-wise, this is exactly how I remember it. It's so good. That's delicious.